Hey guys, it's still 425 2020, so I thought I would do another video. I kind of remember what I was going to talk about. Uh, the question is, do they target your family members? That's the big question. Um, I've heard several stories of a spouse getting targeted and the other spouse doesn't. I guess it all depends on the situation. So if you're single, if you're single like me and many others, do they just target you, or do they target your family members too? If you're in a big program, they will do anything to get your family involved. My family is involved. As far as targeting goes, I have suspicions that they could possibly be targeted also. Even though they're helping these guys out, I have suspicions that they are targeted. Like in my program, people say they use earpieces and stuff like that. They might, maybe they do that. But in my program, I'm just speaking for me, they use voice to skull. You know, whenever I get together with my sister or my brother or whatever, they get voice to skull, telling them what to do and what to talk about. It has to be a controlled conversation. And here's the tricky thing. When they put behaviors into me, it's almost like my family members can see the behaviors. It's almost like they can see my thoughts. Like I mentioned on a couple videos back, it's almost like they can see it or feel it somehow or something. Because I'll be like, I was around my brother one time, and they were sitting there hitting me with rage a little bit, just a little bit, enough to, where I could notice it. They were hitting me with rage, and my brother would bang. He'd bang on the truck. Every time they do it, bang on the truck. Another situation is too, I went to my mechanic. This was a few months ago. Went to my mechanic to pick my van up. They hit me with rage just a little bit. Just enough so I would notice it. My mechanic would bang on the counter. Bang on the counter. So they do that to validate their technology. In my program, I'm just kind of speaking for myself. I think I'm in the same program as Todd Giffen. In Todd Giffen's program, they whistle. They will whistle at him to validate that technology every time. They'll whistle at him. People whistle at him all day long. And people, when I'm around other people and they do behaviors, or they will hit me, they will put a thought in my head and they'll bang, or they will hit me with a behavior like putting a little rage in me, and they'll bang to validate that technology. They gotta validate that technology hundreds of times a day. So going back to our family members targeted, it's possible that they target your family members. Even though my family is involved in my program in validating that technology and stuff like that, there's been situations where I think my family is targeted too, because Well, there's all kinds of, there's all kinds of things the gang stalkers do. If you've done your research on gang stalkers, you know, there could be a person in front of you, and they'll grab a debit card, and the debit card won't work if you're at the store. The debit card won't work, and they'll keep on trying that debit card, and they'll grab another debit card, and that debit card won't work, and all that. That's you're being perped. There, that's a common tactic that the perps use. So sometimes my family members will come back to me and they'll be like, I was at the dollar store and this lady in front of me, she kept on trying all these debit cards and none of them worked, and she didn't have any money and all this stuff, and then one finally worked and all this stuff. That's a common tactic that they use. Is she being perped? It's possible. Another one is too. My sister went to Target, and there was 2 police cars parked, kind of not really parked, but they were in the lane at Target. She couldn't back out. She had to wait for them to leave. Is that, you have to ask yourself, is she being perped? It's possible. Random things like that happen all the time. When it happens more than once, or if it happens 3 or 4 times, you really have to ask yourself if they're being perped, or if my perps are telling them to say these things to make me think they're being perped. I don't know. It's possible. I think my brother could be a target. He throws it. He has a bad temper. Temper flares up every now and then. You think, well, God, are they hitting him with rage and he doesn't even know it? It's possible. I wouldn't rule anything out because, I'm a big target, and they could be targeting my family and they don't even know it. So do they do it? It's possible. I mean, I can't say 100% they are targets too, but they're involved. They're helping these people out. Why would they target them? Well, these people don't care about anything. They don't give a shit about anybody. They don't give a shit about anybody. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for these perps and all this stuff getting involved, they wouldn't have a program. They wouldn't have mind control programs, and they respect no one. They don't respect any of these people that are helping them out. Like I say, they practically killed my mother's dog. They tortured her so bad, and my mother is helping these people out. Why would they torture her dog? We had to put her down. She was being tortured so bad. We had to put her down. Why would they do that to somebody that's helping them out? These people are psychotic. They're criminal minds. And I'll tell you something. I'm not giving up until they pay for that. I will keep on fighting. These people will get payback one of these days. One of these days, something will happen to these people. I don't know if they'll get the virus and get sick or what, but when you do this to good people, karma's a bitch, and it's gonna come back on you. It may take years. I don't know how long it'll take, but something will come back on you. You can't just keep on doing evil and evil and evil things to people, to good people, and expect nothing to happen to you. Karma will catch up with you. Karma will catch up with you sooner or later. Maybe it'll happen when you're old and vulnerable. You know, maybe it'll happen when, you know, they're old and vulnerable, you know, to these people. But so do they target your family members? It's possible, you know, especially if you're a married couple and one target's getting hit, you know, it's possible, you know. It doesn't happen all the time, you know. Maybe there's target, you know, one target and the husband isn't getting hit and all this stuff, you know. It's possible. But like if you're in a big program, they want to get your family involved. I don't know what they do to you know, are they threatening them? I have no idea. You know, are they threatening them? You know, there's times where I get mad and I confront my family members. And I'm like, are they, you know, I'm like, all this bad stuff that's happened to me in the last 6 years. I've had a heart attack. I've been in the psych ward 3 times. You know, all this stuff just all of a sudden happens to me. You know, do you think it's a coincidence? You know, it's like, you know, all these bad things that are happening to me. You know, I don't know. I spaced out where I was gonna go from there. You know, but you know, so they target your family member? It's possible. You know, they could. You know, I don't know if they threaten our family members or what. You know, who knows? You know, my family members don't seem to be getting paid. You know, they don't have any extra cash, as far as I know. You know, so are they threatened? It's possible. You know. You know, so anyway, I just thought I would do a little video and talk about that. You know, do they target our family members? Sometimes I think they do. You know, if our family members stick by us and stuff. But I gotta cut this off. I'll talk to you guys later.